Okay, I just have a short handful of itty things for you to listen to. This first is entitled The Conclusion, and I suppose I would describe it as a poem without a home, and maybe that'll make sense when it's over. Sad masters, wind-broke horse, something dead plus pulse. Unstruck, mother-throated instruments, sagging portals of wordless depth. Sob, sob, drab festival of sound at the all-rounding, readable surface. The dark-hued planet of totality. Not one place is Polis. I'm going to keep saying the next one. This next one is entitled Guilt, and it's of the GILT variety, which I believe means slightly covered in gold or painted in gold. And I suppose this one's about sort of looming impossibility. Let tomorrow come to the white swan of tide pools, the fronds of longitude, sweet beast music in the shade, the see-through orbit of cloud hooves, caboose of primrose, quadrants of inky cheekbones dissolving before the imagined farmhouse. Swarms. My body as carped reflection. You tell me what this might mean. Mind the hidden, the mind's odd periphery, its curve, sailing sideways. There is no real word yet, just a spear of geese thrown in the wrong direction, but a man came into a house and leaned his hand against a wall, and then the light lit back like bees. This is an inner landscape, unpathed and inexhaustibly wolved, but loosened with compromise. Those we know, though, they go dark like a window. This piece was done, I'm actually a part of an all-female poetry collective in Milwaukee entitled Vibe, Velvet in Between. We did a collaborative performance where we had to sort of defamiliarize a system of the body, and I selected to do the skeletal system. So this is my interpretation of skeletal system. Fill small wings, blurred transparents, the dim, the ossified. Desire every seam and every flounce, each brain-tailed tremor scaling tiny ladders, the beating, the breathing, unintractable metal of axial landscape. The trees still resist the wind. Arcane migrations drowse past palsied winter. The hyoid flaps the talking tongue, and all of this husked sinew, vault upon vault upon vault of calcium knit sharply to bear dry witness for the quartzed and the quarantined. We are not pulsed, we are winged ilium in an uninhibited room, hitching. With each trench of cartilage thawed, each gulp of girdle wire squelched, and marrow's trellis all set to harden for the final sermon. And I only plan to read one more, and this is from an upcoming manuscript entitled Heeldrager, which is sort of concerning this universal tendency for indecision, apathy, inactivity. Voice is a runged approach to the eye stuck on small, white sleep. Bunny hide all cold-cheeked and clean. What I wanted to show you already disappeared. The ground fed on its hooves. I want to be clean as a wick. I want to be soft with rugs. And that's it.
You guys can do this?
Yeah. We'd like to reintroduce Edwin Perry and Chelsea Tadeyeske.
You might remember that from earlier reading. Place is such a big one.
Okay, so what we planned on, I'm just a little background on this. When we were originally invited, we anticipated it to be in a space where we could use, we have a couple like multimedia kind of pieces generally that we would work out, but since we didn't think the AV thing would necessarily work as well here, and instead of just taking those pieces and turning them into voice pieces, we just came up with, or we just wrote something last night. The way we were doing this was listening to conversations or dialogues, and like throughout the day, and we ended up going through open source. If you guys know what that is, it's pretty incredible. And just listening to lectures and sort of zoning out, and just letting it sort of wash into us, and just taking text from there. And then from there, we would read what was imbued upon us to one another, and then do that again, sort of like cycling down and distilling, I guess, in a certain sort of way. So we put this together overnight, so we'll see how it goes. We've only read through it once. But it was fun. It was very fun. If no one's ever done it, just to sort of clean yourself, it's really nice. So here we go. It's untitled as of yet.
Give you a sense, some of the themes to note outset, primarily of cities, forms ancient, focus central aerial view, situates in the poor. Forum as it looks today, hill transformed by Michelangelo, concentrated houses of course looming. Eastern Empire will take us, oblong library of coast, spectacular upper right-hand side, methodical, masterful enterprise, geometric ideal.
All really major themes complement what you're doing. Read The Boy Scouts Imperialism, map 3 things, why and the Boy Scouts. One of them on great modern memory paths to glory over time. Come to lecture on people like you. About a small place in sort of a dry run. Disillusionment of duplicity, a marvelous read.
Ponderous undertaking, subjective sense, sanctified historical space.
Hatred of a group.
Significantly preceded understanding, lens of honest memoirs, conception, surviving diversity, accumulative complexity.
Certainly.
A problem of hell, going comparatively through perpetrators. Every single page comes across. Pertinence, particularly illustrated.
An illusion of something which is necessary.
Undermine pretext, more or less.
Not exactly. Nature in flux, penetrate
Unlock
and unlock
the
the secret, piece of coal
Still
to a
magical,
diamond
but
perfection.
in
Still
charge.
magical, but not a political,
Look at
philosophical
foreign
alchemist.
core
Manipulate,
around
real world,
parables more
divine,
profound.
accelerating, contained, confident,
Unlock
inquiry in
the
charge. How the
secret.
heavens go sounds
Still
like
magical,
enchanted nature, once
in
alchemy.
charge.
Early church fathers look at foreign
core
worship.
around parables
Poor
more
expedition
profound.
around 1,000 high programs
Unlock
and
the
crusades and
secret.
airtight seal.
Still
Monomaniacal,
magical, but
trickling in
in
ideas,
charge.
phenomenon, reject
Look
ground
at
parables.
foreign core
Fundamentally
around
false outer shell.
parables
Essence of water,
more
substance more
profound.
profound. Himself in there.
Make
Necktie,
secondhand
blanket,
tell
piece
us
of
what
string,
you said,
dish
okay,
rack,
nice example,
technology,
into the
what
bulk of
said,
the
willing,
question
dim
plain.
light,
Piece
we
of
all,
string
peddling
example.
power,
What
possible
said
for
willing,
them,
willing,
long been used
repeat.
to tell.
Pronounce
Willing,
my name in
repeat.
linguistics, Diana.
One true of
Long
so
been
much
used to
label,
tell, or at
all
least like
manufacturers
writing,
look
again
at.
to
Two
again
bicycle
reminding.
worked,
One
amazing,
true of so
rusty
much,
chain,
amazing
pronounce
rusty
my
chain,
name.
necktie,
Next
blanket,
time,
piece
what
of
do
string.
you have
In
to
back
say?
inside
Fashion
a
fading
technology
old
around
signal,
campus might be
indication,
in fact
background
entrance into
on
a
walk
house.
out, different
Dim
things
light,
of
we all
different
peddling,
people,
fading
nervous
old
looks,
signal
Bible
indication.
sales, blanket
Distract
around campus
technology.
might or at least
Long-time
like
butterfly,
writing a
even
piece
sewn,
of string
book,
example in
pretty different,
linguistics,
signifying
Diana,
factor,
then
Bible
look
sales,
back
blankets,
to again,
necktie,
then
what did
binding
you-
long
different
time
things,
butterfly,
different.
even sewn in
Background
back
on
and side, and
walkout,
technology
dish rack
made
on
of
to
second
live, share,
hand. Tell
power,
us what
possible
you
for
said.
them.
Okay,
Look
nice
at two
example. We in
bicycle
fact
worked,
conscious
labels,
into
all
a house dish
manufactured.
rack gone
If
to
you can
live
pick
shared, pretty
standard, have to
different
say
signifying
fashion,
factor
people,
into the bulk
nervous
question.
looks. Everything makes sense so far. Revolve around, struggle with this, easier independently, bound to. Basic conversation heads off in its own direction, rehearsing feedback. How is this going? Goals for today, try to accomplish the whole. Defining bounds pretty naturally. Beyond the scope, moving into what I mean, key built around a structure, long, narrow rooms, this wide, 3 times deeper. This is good. I can see everyone here.
A course about a trolley car. Miles an hour, brakes don't work. Assume you know that for sure. Feel helpless. Sidetrack. Can turn to do the right thing. Who goes straight ahead? The majority on the sidetrack. Everyone agreed? Choose tragic circumstance. So those who would turn to avoid the crash. Presumably a brave answer. A fat man would spare 5. This is a history.
To be arranged.
Knowledge not required at all.
Dear friend, this is equivalent to la-di-da.
This is
the
a
French,
history.
Very good.
Knowledge not
Encourage
required at all.
interest, you won't regret it. Gives you an indication.
This
the
is a
question
history.
of what is final catches on
Knowledge
to
not
you,
required at all.
tilting in their own way. When you think about it, it makes perfect sense.
This is a history.
Its existence experimentally verified. This is not a chemistry entertained in early May. This kind of music slowly goes over necessary details. In
This
this
is history.
dancing, it will try to give you some sense. Experiment, embarks, experiences, piloting.
No one will know. Again, we have books if anyone wants to look at them. They're sort of pay what you can. So thanks so much.